Hey you guys, Eddie Collins here with another super cool and exciting bus to go ahead and show you. And I've got my buddy Bob. If you guys have never heard of Handbuilt Bob, come on in.
Hey guys,
how are you, man?
Hey, Eddie,
It's good to have you, dude.
Thank
you so much for being here.
Yeah, no worries.
You guys, this is a cool bus, and if you've seen it before, I don't know if you've ever actually looked at the details of it, but we're going to show you today. So first, let's start with, Bob, what year is this?
So this is a 1959 double cab. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that means for double cabs?
Go for it. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, explain to people about seamed gates, all that good stuff.
As far as I know, 59 was the first year. I think they were making some in 58. Any double cabs prior to that were like the Benz model,
right?
Which were made strictly out of single cabs. And a little thing special about this bus is that it does have parts that are made out of single cab. If you look at the gates, you look at the seam here, they took full-size single cab gates and shortened them for the double cabs when VW started producing their own standard.
Oh my gosh. And it's a trip because you do hear about that seamed gates, and if you notice too, and I'll have to look at some of the other double cabs and see if the stamping is actually, if it's a little bit.
It should be the smaller one.
It should be the smaller one, huh?
On the later ones they have, I guess, identical
still see that,
stampings.
huh? That's pretty cool. So it's a 59 double cab. Where did it come from?
So I got this bus from Arizona.
Wow.
If you guys are familiar with the Aguilar family out of Arizona,
okay.
Andy and Teresa were able to bless us with this truck.
Dude.
So we got super lucky with that.
And now, if I remember correctly, you told me at one point in time that this was your first bus?
This is the first bus we purchased. So that's extra special. You know, we always had bugs growing up. And,
right.
And that's how we fell into Volkswagens, was with the Beatles. And just always dreaming of a bus, and we just happened to land.
That is cool.
This one for the first.
Very cool. Well, this is definitely cool. Let's take a quick walk around on it. I mean, I love the fact that it's so straight. The gates are obviously in great shape. When you first got it, was there something in particular that you thought, okay, you know what, I definitely want to do something kind of fun with it, which eventually led to this idea?
You know, we kept it original, and as far as the body itself, I haven't done anything metal work to the body.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so the body is as we got it. All I did was, throw little accessories and a little bit of my flair on it.
Okay.
But we tried to keep it like Andy had it.
I like it. I dig it. And so now coming around to the front here, I mean, it's, as people can actually see, they'll see all sorts of fun little details in there. How did the birth of this amazing, I want to call it an art project, come about?
So the camper started out, we had an original camper where when we first got the truck, it had the original hoops on it and the canvas.
Oh, it did, okay.
So we wrapped material over that. We took the canvas off, wrapped material over that.
Right.
Everything about that camper was just wrong. I couldn't access the gates like I wanted. It only had access from the back. So.
Oh, really?
I decided when I was going to redo it, if I was to redo it, I would do it a little bit better and use actual Volkswagen parts. And I was lucky enough to be able to get windows from you from the camper windows.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys notice this real quick? Check this out, you guys. Yeah, so obviously the jealousy windows, and I do remember that, Bob. I do remember you saying, hey, do you have any jealousy windows? And I said, do you need all 6? And you said, no, I need 2.
That was difficult to find 2. Usually everybody wants to sell a set. And,
right.
So like I said, I was just lucky enough that you had a functional set that was good enough for what I was going for.
No, which is wild, man. And when you told me what you were going to do, he said, I'm going to go ahead and make a camper out of my double cab. I had no idea what was going to take place, but this is wild. And I mean, I love the roof rack. There was a period of time where I was going through this, I want to buy a bunch of roof racks. We're talking like 25, 30 years ago. And the first rack that I ever bought was this style, this size, and coincidentally, same color as well. So now as far as the creation back here, walk me through it. How did that evolve?
Let me open it up and then we can talk about it as I do that. So like
check
I said,
this out, you guys. I love the
camper,
8-ball shift knob there.
I couldn't drop the gate. Well, I could drop the gates, but I couldn't access any part of the cab. So when I made this one, I wanted to make sure that the truck was still usable
this is cool.
as a truck,
Okay.
So all the gates will open.
Now check this out. This is wild, you guys. So this is a cargo door, and not just any cargo door. And Bob, are these the pop-out windows from the truck?
These are the original pop-out windows from the truck. When I decided to make the camper, I wanted to keep as much of the originality to the project as possible.
Okay.
So I went ahead and put these windows back here, and that really completed my idea for putting cargo doors in the rear of the bus.
Dude, but that's a trip that you actually thought, I'm going to put them in upside down.
Well,
what made you go upside down?
With the first camper, I couldn't see out the back. So if you notice here, I have another bay window hatch there for the glass.
Right.
So a big thing was getting it to seal, getting seals, being able to get glass and get parts for it if I needed to change stuff out in the future.
That's true, because I mean, it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's a recreational vehicle, but it's not like you're going to go to a regular RV shop and get your your parts, but instead it's you know, straight up Volkswagen.
Yeah, for the most part.
Dude, check this out. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is great. So you didn't utilize the hinges that normally would be there. Instead, you
right.
made
I modified the hatches, kind of like an early hatch would be.
Okay.
Because these are later hatches.
Piano
yeah,
hinge.
I put a piano hinge on it.
Okay.
But not necessarily how Volkswagen would have done it.
Okay.
But yeah, I did modify the doors for my application. I skinned them down, lightened them as much as possible, and then built like a custom lower end so I could get panels in there and make it easier.
Wow, that's, you know what? I did not notice that until now. Yeah, check this out, you guys. This is it's a deck lid latch actually, but you've got your own little modification there.
Right, and I did modify. A lot of people get upset at me because they are split gates, and
right.
I did weld on one of them.
Oh no!
Nothing crazy. It can be removed. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, dude, come on, give me a break, you guys.
So on the other side, I did not modify it. I have a permanent bar, but when the first iteration of the camper, I had a permanent bed set up in here.
Okay.
And when I went to go pick up the other quarter window section, I actually lost out on half of the Beetle because it wouldn't fit in the camper with the permanent bed setup. So. Oh my gosh.
So hold up, Bob. Hold up. Back up. Hang on a second. The roof is made up of one car or two cars?
Two cars. So a 65 Beetle from the windshield to the rear window. I did shorten the rear window about the length of the window, and just to fit it onto the vehicle. I didn't want to do cab over.
Okay.
I wanted a rack. So yeah, I did have. Luckily, I was able to find another 69 that was getting chopped up and turned into a Manx. So,
dude, that is amazing. I mean, what are the chances that you're going to find two big window cars that you basically need the roofs from?
Right.
And I mean, what's really cool is and check this out, you guys. If you look inside, he still has the sun visors up there, and then of course you got the back window. And now, what's the rack? Is that just a general rack, or
the rack was made out of like a slide out shelf? I guess it was a slide out basket system on an early like 60s or something like storage unit or whatever. So I modified that to fit into the top of the roof section. Okay. So when we are camping, it's a completely different setup when we're camping in here.
Really?
That was another thing with this camper. I wanted to make it versatile.
Okay.
And so right now we just have like the lounge setup. But when we do go camping, if you notice the corners here, there's little spaces where a rack sits in there and it'll lock in there. Or we can bring it up to the second level above this window. Oh, you could bring the whole platform up to a second level. The whole platform will go up, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So the next time I see you out at a show, probably at one of the beach shows or something, we typically have the camper set up. So, I mean, that's pretty wild, man. There's two different modes. There's the hangout mode and the camping mode. Right, yeah. And I mean, also the storage mode when we go and load stuff up for like the antique shows or whatever. And that's how we fell into Volkswagens really, again, as we grew up, because growing up, like as a kid, all the neighborhood kids had bugs and stuff, so it was like, oh, we were hanging around with them. And then everybody grew up and kind of grew out of it. And so when I fell back into antiques, it was kind of a thing where it was like, well, I want a classic car. And if you've never driven a classic Volkswagen, it's a whole experience. You know? It's one of those things. Isn't it? Getting in, the smells, the sounds. Right. Yeah, it's just, I love everything about it. You know, it is funny when you mention that, because there's something about it. You know, I always tell people, look, if you're looking for a daily driver and you need to get somewhere fast, get more modern car. Right. But something like this is so cool that it forces you to slow down. Right. The other thing that I think is neat is obviously just, the smells, like you said, but just the sound of the motor. There's something calming about it. Yeah. And just cruising along, and really it forces you to slow down and enjoy life, which is cool. Yeah. But going back to this, I mean, I'm blown away, dude. I mean, from the curtains, I mean, these look like they're period correct. So like I said, we do a lot of antiques, so sometimes we're in the right place at the right time. So we were able to find the shag, we were able to find the cushions, we were able to find the material. So this is all legit, period correct stuff. It's nothing you can go into Walmart and buy. It's all been, like, I guess, reclaimed. Yeah, or salvaged. Properly sourced too, man. I mean, this is wild. Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at the prints. This is wild. These cushions. We got super lucky. This is crazy. I love this color. I love the greens and chartreuse. I mean, it's crazy. All of these little details. That's the neat thing. You know, it's funny. It's kind of like when you walk into Disneyland. You know, you hear certain things, you see certain things, but until you actually start looking into the finite details
details, you know, you're going, wow, I can't believe they thought of that. And that's what I'm tripping out on here. It's like, I can't believe you thought of that. And I mean, it's kind of a trip to think that when you're talking about the camping setup, when you're laying here, dude, you've got a view of the sky.
It just happened to turn into a skylight, and we've been at camping shows where it's raining and we're woken up by the amount of, and it's just crazy to be waking up and seeing the rain hitting the glass, and it's like, whoa. It's an experience. It was really cool.
No, it's super, really super cool. Now, as far as, obviously you've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3 bay window hatches.
3 bay window hatches.
It took 2 bugs.
Yeah, 1 full roof length, and then the other rear quarter window sections from the other bug.
So you got 2 sets of pop outs. Obviously the windshield, the back window. You've got 2 bus cargo doors. And the rest of it you fabbed.
Right, so the rest of it is raw steel, and if you notice, I actually use the factory mounting locations from the original hoops.
The hoops and canvas,
so the entire camper is removable. I didn't modify the truck in any capacity.
Wow.
And then it's bolted up here at the front, the same as factory would be.
Dude, so basically, I mean, you could essentially, like if God forbid, if you ever decided that you were going to sell it, but you wanted to keep this, you can unbolt it.
It wasn't a forever thing. I didn't know it was going to work initially, you know, but it was something that I wouldn't know it's not going to work unless I do it.
Okay.
At this point, we've had it on the truck nearly 2 years, and it's evolved in that process. You know, like I said, when I first built it, it had the permanent rack, and I just realized, and then so that's what's left of the permanent rack.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't want to weld on the gates realistically.
Yeah.
I wanted to make everything to where it was its own unit and self-contained. So it's not a forever thing. I might take it off one day and turn it into something else.
Now, you said something that really, you know, it really makes me think. You said we weren't sure what it was going to evolve to and so forth. And I think it's so impressive, and I think it should inspire a lot of people that when you come up with an idea, that you don't just go, oh, that'd be cool. It's people like you that actually go, that would be cool, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to pursue it, and I'm going to continue. Were there ever any points in time where you were just like, dude, what am I doing? You thrown the towel, or, you know, I mean.
So the first investment was the camper windows. Once I decided, okay, I'm going to use real parts, then it was like, okay, how am I going to go about even doing this?
Yeah.
And sourcing all the parts took about 2 months.
Okay.
I didn't really measure anything until I got so deep in the project where it was like, hey, the bug is cut, the doors are hung, you've invested all this money and time. You just have to see it at least to this stage, you know?
Well, I think it's rad, and I think it's so cool that that you didn't quit, man. You didn't give up, and kudos to you on that. I think that's super rad, and it is crazy though that your vision really it's not impaired whatsoever, as far as you could still see through if the backrest is kind of down. I'm assuming, does this slide down too?
So yeah, this is just a futon. It'll come out. It'll come out. It's not long enough to sleep in it, but realistically it's a double cab. It's not long enough for me to sleep.
Yeah,
like you can't sleep in there. So when we do have it set up as a camper, I'm like at an angle with the pop outs open and my feet sticking just out. So if I were to do it on
sticking out,
those feet and my other little toes. Yeah, so everything, like I said, I wanted to make it versatile, so it can always go back to a truck. Like I can pull it out in seconds and load it up and get it to a show or whatever.
Now that's impressive. Can we see inside the truck? See what it looks like?
Absolutely.
Look at this.
So here's the cargo area.
I mean, as I was walking by, I'm looking at these details, dude. The curtains, everything. I mean, the seats are rad. The seats are in great shape. Dude, the truck is in great shape.
Thank you, Eddie.
I mean, that's what's wild.
Yeah.
The original, I mean, is that the original headliner?
I don't believe so. Andy was
pretty
kind
OG.
of the kind of guy where if I can't tell, you can't tell kind of deal. And so I've just kept it as he had it for the most part. That's the interior we got with it.
Okay.
And, like I said, I just added my flare. Like I have my dealership flags in there.
Wow. So cool, man. I mean, it's pretty wild. What's neat is it definitely tells a story. You know, it definitely tells a story, and it's fun to see all the different things that you've done to it. But I think one of the coolest things is the fact that all of these little details, the fact that it's not, like you said, you didn't just walk into a store and buy this. You know, it was like, you know what, this is cool, this will match, this will go well. And how much of it was you? How much of it was your wife?
So we worked together on it. You know, she's like the expert in the vintage. So it just so happens we turn into the right places at the right time, and you know, we find like material like this, or like the curtain cushions and all that.
And how did you get into the whole vintage thing? I mean,
you know, it's one of those things where we would just go to the swap meets and just have fun looking for little things here and there, and it started like collecting little trinkets here and there, and then once we got the cars, and it was like, okay, now we're in it,
Right.
like we don't want to go to a show and jump out of a Tesla, we want to go to a show in our
yeah.
car, so.
Well, and that's the thing, and bringing up with Tesla, not to bash on Tesla, so no lawsuits, please. No, it's the fact that, when you talk about individuality and just having something that stands out, I mean, granted, yes, double cabs of values are more than a Tesla, but, just being unique, I think it's so cool, because, I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I don't think you guys have ever seen anything like this before. Yeah. But I think it definitely, what I like is it tells people, dude, that's such a rad idea. I would love to do this, and maybe they'll do their own little concoction to it.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. Can we see the front cab?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just blown away, dude, by how straight this truck is.
Thank you.
Look at that. Again, with all the details. I mean, I like it looks like a little mail holder.
Yeah, so that's like an early deco comb case, and since I modified, if you notice my driver's door, I modified one of the original baskets to hang on, on the windows there,
right?
Because I had the comb case there.
Okay.
So I still needed a cup holder. I don't necessarily like the way they clutter the dash like that.
Well, and the church key with the Pepsi bottle opener.
So I actually make church keys.
Okay.
I always make them with a bottle opener, and I make them out of hardened steel, so that sometimes the originals will twist,
Right.
The pot metal.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Okay, well, we're going to be putting Bob's info in the video, so obviously he's a great source to go ahead and see what he has to offer, which is really cool. Now, so coming around is I like your mirrors. I like your mirror setup.
Yeah, I have two mirrors on each side. This one's the standard mirror. That's a convex mirror, and then I have a zoom mirror and the standard mirror on the other side.
I love the working hard for you sign, man. That's awesome.
Well, she's a runner,
Right.
It's not the nicest truck, but it's a work truck.
Dude, this is a very nice truck. Are you kidding me? This is a really nice truck. And I'm curious, actually. So it looks like your windshield broke, huh?
Yeah, I pulled on it too hard when I had the thing tight here.
Really? Bummer, man. Bummer.
It's all good.
Well, I'll tell you what, can you give me 7 seconds real quick and just stay here for 1 second?
Sure.
You guys, give me 7 seconds real quick.
1, 2, 4.
A little birdie told me, dude,
Eddie,
that
you are kidding me, man.
So I actually have, by the way, these are Wolfgang Safaris, you guys.
Oh,
I've sold many of them, but this is a Wolfgang Safari replacement class, brand new. I took the tag off there.
Oh my gosh, Eddie, you
for you, dude.
Man, dude.
No.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. So this way you can. I don't think if any cop gave you a ticket, I would be very disappointed. I would be very disappointed. But B, you know what, dude, this thing is rad. And so yeah, just take it apart and stick it in there. So no, this is super cool. Super, super cool. Just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Just launch it in there, man. No big deal.
Absolutely.
So no, this is great, Bob. I think it's really cool. So after seeing this, I mean, it warrants a question. What's next?
So everything was great about this, and the camper worked out good, but hanging out in a double cab, I mean, you can't really hang out with a group. Like, we couldn't hang out in the cab. Everybody's facing the wrong direction. Back there, we just did that about a month ago, so we just started like the lounge era.
Yeah.
But the next bus will answer all of the complications that we had with
Did
this.
you hear that, you guys? There's the tease. The next bus. So not a truck, not a double cab, but a bus.
So this one will be an actual bus, and we're able to hang out like we used to do in our other buses.
Dude, that's crazy. And by the way, does he or she have a name?
So we call it Bubblicious.
I like
Bubble
that.
Cab.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Bubblicious is pretty awesome, dude. And hopefully the wind is kind to you on the road.
So I haven't really had any issues. I know you've mentioned before with your high roofs, you kind of get a little
sketchy
squirrely on the road. But I haven't had, maybe I'm not driving at the same times or same direction as you, but yeah, we try to follow the wind as much as possible.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. As far as the rear, what do you have shocks-wise? Do you have anything
so I do
different?
have coilovers in the rear.
You do? Okay.
And then just the stock 1600 with some dual cadrones, nothing crazy.
All right, cool. So see, you guys, you don't have to get super crazy. Keep it stock. Obviously, a little stiffer shocks, and And there you go. You guys, if you guys happen to see Bob at a show, you know, come up, say hi. I don't know if you could tell, probably one of the most personable people that you'll meet on the face of the earth. So,
Thank you,
dude, thank you so much. I think it's rad, and there are so many more details. We could probably spend an hour out here talking about it, but I think my biggest takeaway is just the fact that I'm so impressed by the fact that you had a vision. I love the fact when you said didn't really measure anything, you just kind of go for it. And a lot of the times, you know, we do that, and look what turns out, man. It's so cool. And I think, I mean, do you have a tally sheet on how many thumbs up or peace signs you get on a daily basis? You know?
No, someone has thrown peanut butter at me on the highway.
What?
That's the only thing I can distinctly
I don't know
remember.
what that means, you guys, or if that's a fetish.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you have a jar of peanut butter in your car on the highway, but
yeah,
that happened.
Okay. Chunky or creamy?
It was chunky.
Oh, that sucks, man, because I like chunky peanut butter, dude. What a waste. Anyway, all right, you guys. So there you go, Bob. Hand-built Bob, you guys. That's your Instagram. And also, you've got a YouTube channel as well,
So I
right?
have a YouTube channel where I did a video kind of in the phases of when we were building it, the skeleton of the camper, and kind of where it was and kind of why.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, you guys. Check it out. We'll put the links up and all that good stuff so you guys can scope it out. And God, give Bob some kudos in the comments and let him know what you think about this creation. So, well done, dude.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And if you need any help with the windshield, let me know.
Okay,
all right. Cool. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching.
See ya.